What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Realistic. We are live here for a sprint race in Interlagos. Going to jump into a party. So, a sprint race in the rain, which is a little bit frustrating because I would have liked to have seen a lot of overtaking, some DRS, you know the shebang. I would have liked to have seen a lot of that this evening, but it looks like we're not going to get much. But hey ho, we'll still get a lot of overtakes. I'm just sound check. There we go. Right, okie dokie. So 12 minutes of qualifying and then into the sprint. Deadly just moving out of the way of another driver there. Nimblecat reserving for the Racing Bull this evening, and then CJ is the first driver to start a lap. Both Red Bull, CJ and Jeffy. So it will be Jeffy first as he comes out of the centre. And he nearly loses the rear end there. I'm just going to make sure that I'm connected to my LAN cable. Yeah, it should never come out, actually, to be fair. So, yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Right, there we go. So, on board with Jeffy Boy. And he's just coming around turn 7 and then in towards turn 8. And then back onto the brake pedal. And they've just got to be really careful in the rain through Pinarino now, and then back slightly uphill towards turn 10 at Vico di Peto. And so the Oracle Red Bull down towards Mergolo at turn 11. As every time I watch Brazil, every time I commentate Brazil, it always brings back memories of Lewis Hamilton overtaking Timo Glock down in towards Junxiao. And to take the championship away from Felipe Massa when all the Ferrari team was celebrating, only for Nicole Scherzinger to start celebrating and then Ferrari to have to put his shirt back on, you know. So Jeffy Boy 117.9, CJ with a 118.5, and a few of the other drivers coming through a Racing Bull. I think that is Nimblecat that will be next down towards the line, and it is P3, a 121.0 in that Racing Bull. We do have a McLaren, that is B Wright, the championship contender. We have no... Oh, Fanfitness is in. I was going to say we've got no Reese tonight, so he is quite a way back actually in the championship now. It's just not gone his way, it's not been his season. And then looking at the standings, Fanfitness leads on 264 points and B Wright is second on 252, so 12 points different. Reese is still in it, although he is 59 points behind B Wright and 71 points behind Fanfitness. So yeah, very, very unlikely that Reese, after today's race, would be in with a shout of winning the championship, especially considering that he's missing this evening. And he's fell back a little bit in Tier 1 as well, so he's just not had a good... He didn't have a great opening to Realistic, did he? It was really unfortunate. He had everything go against him. And then the second half, he's just not been able to pick it up like usually Reese would be able to. And he is the reigning champion at the moment in Tier 1. And B Wright will come to the line, and it will be a provisional pole for the sprint race, a 117.2. And then Fanfitness in the Mercedes, the championship leader, will be next. So yeah, it's really interesting to see where the drivers go after this race and what the situation is with Reese, because he has missed this race, and it is pretty much going to be all over if B Wright and Fanfitness get a decent finishing position, which is it is a shame. Reese is a great driver. He's incredible actually on track. Probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest we have in Formula 7. But the consistency this season, 118.7 for Fanfitness, goes P4 behind both Red Bulls. I think he was haunted by his own words, I think after China. Was it China or the track after? I think it might have been Japan. Disqualified Goldman's in the Racing Bull, and he's off the track at the end of Reta Aposta, and he is out of the sprint qualifying, disqualified. Hackmore is now on an outlap in that Ferrari. Let's ride on board with him. Yeah, if I remember rightly, I think it was Japan, wasn't it, when Reese said that it will be a championship battle between him and Fanfrenes, and he doesn't expect to see B right in any of them come the end of the season. And it's just them words. That's why I never say anything like that. Me, I love the confidence, you know. You've got to be so careful because anything can happen. It's motorsport racing. But there's absolutely one thing guaranteed though. If Reese doesn't defend or take a championship this season, he will come back with a vengeance next season, and I am sure he will come with an absolute superior level of racing in season 12. So Hackmore down towards turn 12 at Junchao, and it is purple sector 2 for the Ferrari. He does have his teammate just behind him of Mitch, who has been promoted up this evening from the Sauber, and he thoroughly deserves it. So Hackmore down towards the finish line. Where's he going to put it? It's a 1:18.000, and it is P3, and Nick is in P10. Maximov is on a lap as well in that Haas. Mintoki reserving for the Williams. Got the call late on, so let's see what he can do. B-Right goes even quicker, a 1:17.0. And it's 4 minutes of this sprint qualifying remaining. AMS Mirko in the Mercedes. Going to have to do everything he can do to help his teammate this evening in his bid to take that World Championship. He will defend the World Championship. He is the current realistic World Champion. So AMS Mirko, but he is currently down in P8. Casper in the Aston Martin. He's done really well in that Aston Martin, actually. Mintoki in the Williams. Let's see what he can do. He is slightly up on his lap time as we go up towards turn 10. And then around Vico Di Peto down towards turn 11. How are we doing, Kev? And then in towards Junchao for the Williams driver. A little bit of traffic in front of him. Maybe get a bit of slipstream in the rain, and you've just got to hold on to that car so much. It's so difficult. And the Sauber does move out the way. Mintoki will be next. Where is he going to put the Williams? That is a good lap, actually. It is P14, but a 1:19.2 in that Williams is a really good lap. Oh, that's... Oh, you didn't. F7 VRB in the Haas is on a lap. Mirko did go P2. That is massive. Super Turbo reserving in that McLaren this evening. It'll be interesting to see what he can do in this championship. And I mean, if he is in front of Fanfrenes going into this sprint race, that will be that'll be a huge benefit for the right. So Max Block in the Haas. It is intermediates all the way through this evening here in Sao Paulo. So in towards Junchao for the Belgium, and he's way down on his lap time. F7 VRB is going to follow him round with that new livery on the Haas. Oh, okay, that'll be nice. So in towards the start-finish line, and it is P15 for F7 VRB. Mirko slowing down. Hackmore with a big snap coming round Mergolo at turn 11. And the Scuderia with a minute and 30 remaining. Jeffrey Boy is out on fresh tyres. B-Right is retired. He wants no more part in this sprint qualifying. Hackmore will go again. So will Jeffy. So will Mirko. So they are all getting ready for their final runs. The other McLaren of Super Turbo is on an outlap. So is a lot of the front runners. Jay in the Sauber. Wow, that Racing Bull sees him late, but did a great job getting out of the way. Well done to Nimble there, the awareness to see that Sauber coming at some speed. So down in towards Pinarino at turn 9 for the Sauber driver. A little snap from the Canadian. In towards Vico Di Peto at turn 10, and you can see how much the drivers are struggling, and I think it looked like he slightly backed out then and then thought better of it. So Nick He's not far behind. We've got a Haas driver just off the track. So Jay is 1.5 tenths up. This might put him in front of Maximoff in that Haas. He's going to empty the tank all the way down towards the line. And Jay does go up to P8 and in front of the Ferrari. We do have Nick. We have an Aston Martin. 20 seconds remaining. They're all coming down. Oh no, bro, I know. I need you to tell me what they're called. So, Inherineo, Mergolo, Jinchao. I don't know how to say them. I'd love to know how to say them though. They are beyond. Here comes a Super Turbo down to the line, and it is P3 for Super Turbo. The Mercedes of Fanfrenes, the championship leader, and it's only P6 for the sprint. Here comes CJ. CJ goes P4. Wow, what about Mirko in the other Mercedes? Mirko is P5. What about the Aston Martin of Deadly? He's 8 tenths up. To the line we go. Here in Brazil, it's P8 and in front of Nick in that Sauber. We have a Haas of Maxi Block. He is on a cool down lap. That is it. The checkered flag has been waved. The Sauber of Jay is also on a cool down, so it's down to the Ferrari of Mitch. He's currently in P13, not where he wants to be, but he is going to put it all on the line here in this sprint qualifying. Mitch to the line. It's a 1:17.5. And it's P3, and both Ferraris are in great positions. Deadly has put it provisional second row in a Aston Martin. F7 VRB stays P15, and then Hackmore will be next. Hackmore stays P2. And I think that might be it. Nimblecat has invalidated it. It is B right in the McLaren that takes pole position. Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull goes on to the front row. Then Hackmore in the Ferrari. Casper in the Aston is on the second row of the grid. That is incredible. Here in Formula 7, realistic. Well done to Casper. So let's go through the standings. It is B Right that qualifies on pole position. Jeffy Boy will start alongside him on the second row. Then comes Hackmore, Casper, Mitch, Super Turbo, CJ, Mirko, Fanfrenes, the championship leader in P9, Deadly, then Nick. Sorry, 1 second. I need to write that down. Then Jays, Mintoki, Maximo, F7 VRB, Nimblecat, and Goldman's. Put that down. There we go. All sorted. Just have to get them sorted. It should be a good sprint race. It should have a bit of everything. And Fanfrenes will not be happy with that qualifying. Oh, thanks, Alvaro. Right, so I'll get a pass on the others, but it's just Bico. What? How would you say it? Baco de Pato. Bico de Pato. Is it Baco de Pato? What is it? A is open. Oh. I'll have to have some Portuguese. Like I'm watching it. Yeah. Italy. I need some Portuguese lessons from you, Alvaro. Next time we race in Brazil, I'm gonna take some Portuguese lessons. I'm gonna try and avoid saying bico petto. Well, they look good. They look strong beyond the Saubers. So 17 drivers on the grid for this sprint race, and it is 4 different constructors in the top 4 here for this sprint race. It's not often we've seen that this season. It is a McLaren to a Red Bull to a Ferrari to an Aston Martin. Both Mercedes are on the 4th and 5th row of this grid. It is not where the Mercedes team principal would have wanted to see his drivers. Here we go. So they all line up. Here we go. This is it for round 15 for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Formula 7 Realistic, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. The Red Bull did get a good start. He's going to get the inside line though, but B-Right will cut him off straight away. The Aston Martin of Casper goes wheel to wheel with the Ferrari of Hackmore, and Hackmore will have the inside line coming out of the centre S's, and then down Retro-Aposta. The other McLaren and Ferrari of Mitch and Super Turbo squabble it out, but it is the Papaya that reigns supreme and goes up to P5. CJ is dropping like a stone in water as he's down to P10 as he just tags the Aston Martin. And it is, and he has a huge snap there, the Red Bull. Maxi Block in the Haas is already at one place as he goes side by side with Mintoki. And then Nick goes a little bit deep, but he is through on the Red Bull. But for how long? He gets the move done, the Sauber driver. The Red Bull doesn't want to give it up too easily though. But Nick says, no thank you, I am moving ahead. And that is phenomenal from the Sauber driver. Jay just staying on the back of Mintoki as the drivers just struggle. They weave around here in the rain here in Sao Paulo, but it is B-Right that leads coming on to the end of lap 1. Jeffy Boy in P2 and Hackmore in P3. Casper stays in P4, so there's no changes in the order in the top 4, but it is Super Turbo moving up to P5 here in round 15. So we now move ahead and all the drivers are safely through. B-Right leads by 8 tenths to Jeffy Boy. Hackmore is still there. Casper around a second behind. Remember, we don't have to worry about the DRS now. Down Retro-Aposta we go. AMS Mirko chasing down Mitch into the slipstream. It's all about pure speed here in Interlagos. And the Mercedes just watching Mitch make a slight mistake. Can he pounce on him? Not just yet, he can't. Well, this is a thrilling sprint race. So Nimblecat 1.2 behind F7 VIP. He's doing really well to stay with the pack as of yet. Maxi Block in the house on the back of CJ, who's down to P11. He had a great qualifying as well. Fanfurness and Mirko getting through cleanly. That's F7 VIP that is through on Goldman's. Goldman's will come back at him. The Racing Bull back in front of the Haas and up to P15. He got disqualified in the sprint qualifying and then he's lost it. And into the wall goes Goldman's. And he is down to P17. And if his race was going badly, it's going even worse now as Nimblecat goes through. B-Right is 1.2 clear of Jeffy Boy. Hackmore. Then comes Casper. It's all about strategy. The tyres, every single driver on the intermediates. Through the centre S's we go. So we've got some good battling going on. All the drivers, we are on lap 3, and as you can see from the aerial view there, that was Mirko. And it's all about patience now, especially in the rain. The drivers have got to be so patient to make that move. They can't rush it. And you can see Mitch just holding on, and that is CJ that is back through, and Nick trying to defend as well as he can, but not able this time. Super Turbo is catching up to Casper, so the McLaren driver doing a really good job at the moment. Be right going even quicker. That is a yellow flag, and that is Goldman's that is off again. A very expensive lawnmower, and Goldman's chopping down the grass. 10-second time penalty. CJ goes up the inside of Nick. Nick will come back at him through the centre S as they go. The Sauber, the Red Bull. Here comes the Haas. He wants a bit of the action. He'll move to the inside line as they go down Retro-Aposta. This is brilliant from Maxi, the Belgian driver. They're going to go 3 wide down Retro-Aposta. The Haas has got the inside line. The Sauber stays with him. The Red Bull will try and return the favour. The Red Bull of CJ. Oh, they've collided and into the wall they go. Huge collision here at Interlagos, and CJ is into the wall. So is Maxi in the Haas, and Mintoki picks up the scraps. Wow. And Goldman's is out of this sprint race. So B-Right does lead by 1.9, and I think that is Maxi Block who is out of this Grand Prix, but there is a car. Yeah, it was Goldman's Racing Bull that caused issues and started getting in the way of the leaders. That was very lucky. So Mitch in the Ferrari, look how close he is to Super Turbo. And they're all sort of lining up behind Casper. He's got a train of drivers just waiting behind him. But the thing is, it's really difficult to overtake. Well, you know, it is in the rain. It's a very easy track here in Brazil. But when it's raining, you've got to be on point. And Casper's doing a brilliant job of defending. That's all he needs to do is just defend. And that's exactly what he's doing. So fair play to Casper here, because they just cannot get through. Yeah, and once again, he keeps them at bay. And we can have a cool down after this sprint race. We're going to need one. Be right. 2.4 clear now of Jeffy Boy. Fanfurness, the championship leader, he is in a position that he did not want to be in. And when it's raining, we can see how critical the qualifying session is. And we're seeing that right now as they go up towards turn 6 and 7. And Nimble, Mr. Reliable, is still in this race, and that is exactly why I put him in the Racing Bull, because you are one thing guaranteed: if nobody shoves him into the wall, he will finish the race. Super Turbo still 2/10 of a second behind Casper in that Aston Martin. And in towards Jun Chao. Or is it Jun Chao? I don't know, Portuguese, some Portuguese or something. Super Turbo into the slipstream of Casper, Mitch, Mirko, all there. I'm wondering, at the end of the sprint, does Mirko swap with Fanfurness just to give him that extra point? Oh, he's touched the grass for the first time ever in his life. And nearly bins it, and now he's got Deadly all over his rear diffuser. Here comes Deadly. And yeah, as I was saying, I'm wondering if Mirko will switch positions with Pamphilus to give him that extra point, because he's... Oh, and he goes, Mirko, he said, you know, I'm sick of waiting, I'm going for it. And he was very lucky that they both didn't end up onto the grass there. And he is going to go up the inside. Mirko in the Mercedes, Mitch in the Ferrari. And still they battle as they come around turn 11 and down towards turn 12. The Ferrari has his nose ahead. The Mercedes goes later on the brakes. Is he going to stick it? He does. And Mirko out of turn 12, around turn 13. And the Mercedes with a spectacular overtake. Done correctly this time. But the Ferrari into the slipstream. Mitch is going to come back at him. He's going to go close to the wall. And the gap was as tight as you would like, but that did not faze Mitch at all as the Ferrari is back up to P6. So, will Mirko come back? Pamphilus has now caught back up to them. As I was saying, the gap is 12 points between B. Wright and Pamphilus. At the moment, Pamphilus would score 1 point and B. Wright would score 8. So the gap would be down to 5 points. So at this moment in time, every point counts. So I think the Mercedes might switch around. It was spicy. It was a bit of a lunge though from Mirko on Mitch. It was if Mitch hadn't have given the space that Mirko wasn't entitled to, that could have ended differently. So fair play to Mitch there. So here comes Mirko again. Mitch up to P6. The Ferraris are doing well. Remember, the Constructors is still open. The points, let me just check. So the points in the Constructors Championship. So Mirko is chasing down the Ferrari again. So the McLaren do lead on 411 points. The Mercedes are on 354 and the Ferrari on 317. So only 94 points separate the top three. That's still good with this race and 5 to go. So especially considering a team can score 38 points on a normal race. Is it 38? Is it? No, 25 and 18. 43 in it. So B. Wright 3.5 clear. He's been flawless in this sprint race. And that's what they needed from him, the McLaren team. And he is delivering. I did just clip that Mirko and Mitch, and the caption is, if you no longer go for a gap. So Hackmore is only 3 tenths behind Jeffy Boy now with 2 3/4 of a lap remaining. And the Ferrari driver could potentially take P2 in this sprint race. CJ on the back of Mintoki. CJ in the Red Bull. He's not had the best of races, but we are watching Hackmore hack away at Jeffy Boy's lead. They are not even close to touching the McLaren, but it's a motorsport race. Anything can happen. It only takes that one mistake and everything in the Grand Prix can change. Nimblecat still in that Racing Bull as he heads up towards turn 7. Doing a great job in that Racing Bull, cracking away, getting to that finish line. And very experienced driver there. So Hackmore through the Senna S's, And it looks like Hackmore is starting to feel that car in the rain. And there goes Mitch up the inside of Super Turbo, and the Ferrari of Mitch makes up a position. And if Hackmore can get one, these are vital sprint points for the Scuderia duos. And down Retro-Aposta we go. And Mitch does make it clear that he is taking P5. Now is Casper in front, and Hackmore has Jeffy in front of him. So the front three, 8.5 seconds clear of the Aston Martin, who, as I'll say again, has done a brilliant job defending his position. Hackmore a second behind. Jeffy Boy's just started to pick it up a little bit. Super Turbo has got to defend against Mirko, as we are about to go on to the final lap. Oh, and here comes Mirko on the inside of Super Turbo. The Mercedes is going to go for it. Oh, and he slips it round and drifts into turn 12. Gets the move done. Is he now going to back up that McLaren into Fanfurness? Remember, these are in a constructors fight and a championship battle. Here comes Fanfurness. Mirko does move over. The teamwork is there, and the championship leader of Fanfurness has been let go by his own teammate of Mirko, and now Mirko will battle Super Turbo. He goes onto the runoff area and he keeps it there. Well done from Mirko. That is hard to do. Deadly goes through, but Fanfurness has been given a solid job there by his teammate and given him P6 in this sprint race. So that is what the Mercedes were planning. We knew that they were going to swap positions, but he also, Mirko, give him an extra position on Super Turbo. And there goes Mirko back on Deadly, wheel to wheel, go the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. And it is Deadly that goes in front of the AMG driver, but he does go a little bit deep. Mirko's looking for a way back through. Is he going to get it? He gets on his foot, but it's the Aston Martin, but it is B Right that will come through to win the sprint race here in Sao Paulo. And Jeffy Boy takes P2, Hackmore in P3. Let's get on board with Mirko. Can he get the better exit out of turn 12 as he chases down the Aston Martin? Fanfurness gets a vital P6, but Deadly will take the last remaining point, and both Aston Martins will finish in the points in this sprint race. What a Grand Prix that was. So it is B Right that takes the race victory in the sprint race. Jeffy Boy takes P2 and Hackmore in P3. It is Casper that takes P4 and Mitch in P5. Fanfurness does pick up P6 and Super Turbo in P7. Deadly takes P8 and Mirko in P9. In P10 it is Nick in the Sauber. Great result for him. And then Jay in P11. Mintoki in P12 and CJ in P13. F7 VRB in P14. And Nimblecat in P15. Then the two DNFs, Maxi Block and Goldman's in P16 and P17. And that is a Racing Bull and a Haas out of the sprint. Sorry, I was just putting the results in as I was going through that. I've got to go through the results on stream, commentate it, but then also input it into the system as I'm going through it. So, does that change the standings live? It does, yeah. So, 421 in the Constructors, 357 for Mercedes, 327 for Ferrari. In the Drivers, as it stands now, Fanfurness leads by 7 points, 267 to B Right's 260. So, we can see it live. The gap is down to 7. Mirko, I honestly, mate, I didn't see it, but I did see you make two very audacious attempts at an overtake. I've got to say. I gotta be completely honest, mate. It was two audacious overtakes. Some great moves though, some unbelievable moves by yourself. It was a really good sprint race, actually, to be fair. So on to qualifying for the feature race. Back to the cage, you little worm. Bico de pato. Bico de pato. Bico de pato. So Jeffy, a 118.1 in the Red Bull. CJ with a 118.6 Super Turbo, 119, so he will go again. Nick in the Sauber. Be right, still in the pit lane. Maxi Block. Bico de pato. Mitch in the Ferrari. Bico de pato. So Maxi coming out of Bico de pato, down towards turn 11. Bico de pato. In towards turn 12 for Maxi Block. Oh, and he's lost the back end. That will cost him a little bit of time. And the Belgian driver And it is P4 and in front of his teammate by 7/10. And Nick again in the Sauber. They are on fire here in Sao Paulo. And he's up to P3. I definitely chose the right guy to put on the thumbnail for YouTube. I put the Sauber car on the thumbnail this week. So Mitch up to P6 in the Scuderia. And then we have Casper in the Aston Martin. Just coming through turn 7 and 8. Then down towards Pinarino at turn 9. And then we'll go slightly back uphill towards Vico de Pato. Vico de Pato. And down through 11 and into 12. It's purple sector 2 for Casper. I'm trying to learn the correct pronunciations of the sayings now. Of the corners. Casper goes provisional pole in the feature qualifying, a 1:18.0, and Mirko is now on an outlap. Let's ride on board, see what he can do. But Jay, Vico de Pato at turn 10, back downhill for the Sauber. And Mirko, Deadly is retired. Deadly is retired. Where? In the pit lane. Oh, he's got a qualifying ban. Yep, that's a real shame because he's doing well. Sorry, engine penalty. That's right, Theo. Thank you. Mitch goes up to P2. So what can Mirko do? You get these badges on Twitch now. So you get a purple, like, you know where you go action and you clap that thing, the black and white thing. Well, you get them on your page now on Twitch. So you can upload the links to your videos on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And if you get 100 views, it'll give you a purple one. If you get 10,000 views, it'll give you a diamond one. And if you get 100,000 views, it'll give you a gold one, and so on and so on. Which I think is really cool, you know, to upload to the Twitch channel. To show, like, the clips and stuff. So, Mirko goes provisional pole of 1:17.7. Minto kit coming out of turn 12 in the Williams. And it is P9 Goldman's. He got a qualifying ban. Sorry, he got a disqualification in the sprint qualifying. So he will go again. Nimrocat and the Racing Bull up to P13 and B right. Oh, he's invalidated it. He must have cut the pit entry line on the way to the start finish line and it's invalidated his lap. So he'll have to do it all over again. Pamphnis is on a lap as he goes up towards Vico de Pato at turn 10. There's the traffic just dilutes and he will come in towards turn 12 and the championship leader. He leads by 7 points now, reduced by 5. It could have been worse though had his teammate not have intervened. So that's where I think B Right might have cut it and invalidated it. So down towards the centre S's for Pamphnis. Locks up that front left as we head out of the centre S's in towards Retta Aposta. This is where we would usually get DRS, but not in the rain. So a nice line through there. Hackmore in the Ferrari has gone at provisional pole, the 1:17.1. The track is heating up and Pamphnis has invalidated it. B Right will go again, so the McLaren will now get a lap as he goes in towards the centre S's, but it is Hackmore on top for the moment. 7.5 minutes remaining in this feature qualifying. So around turn 4 and 5 we go. And the Papaya out-qualified everybody, out-raced everybody, but he's got to do it all again, and this is where it matters because the big points are on the table. So, through turn 9 and up towards Bico de Pato at turn 10. I'm going to say that all night now. So, to the left-hander. Oh, and you can see how much he's trying to keep hold of that car. Around turn 12. And back onto the throttle. He'll empty the tank. And all the way to the line for the McLaren driver. It is going to be provisional pole once again for the Papaya. So Fanfurness in the Mercedes, the championship leader. Around turn 8. This is where it matters. It is a fight between the Mercedes and the McLaren. We have 5 constructors again in the top 5. McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes and Aston. That is what we want to see. So, where is Fanfurness going to put it? Around turn 14 and 15, down to the line. He is on the limit, and Fanfurness at 1:17.7. It's only P6 again. The Mercedes seem to be struggling for pace around here. I don't think the rain is helping. Mitch goes purple sector 1 as he dives in towards turn 4. So Mitch promoted up to Ferrari this evening, and he's doing a fine job so far. We will ride on board with the Ferrari driver and see what he can do with 5 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. So into turn 12, and the British driver heading around the long left-hander, and into the pit lane goes Mitch. So Nick is also improving in that Sauber. We have Fanfurness, I think, going into the pits. They'll have one final run at this. Goldman's down in P14. Goldman's had the opportunity to race for Red Bull this evening. Chose to stay in the Racing Bull. So Nimble Cat is also up on his lap time, but you can see how difficult them conditions are. And Nick is flying in that Sauber. They've definitely got the setups right this evening, have the Sauber drivers. You look at Jay, he's up to P7. Here comes Nick, and Nick goes P7. CJ, they are in front of a Red Bull and a Ferrari and a McLaren at the moment, although the McLaren is now starting to improve. So 3 minutes to go, and it is all down to this. Hackmore in the Ferrari. Can he get it to where it needs to be? We will stay on board with the Belgian driver, just to see if he can do anything. I don't know if he's on the lap actually. He's not on a lap, so Hackmore is not on a lap. So I think he's just getting a bit more fuel out of that car to go for that final run. Here he comes. And I think he's going to go for another lap as well. He is. So he's going for another lap to lower that fuel. Super Turbo is up to P7. He'll have one more in-lap, well, one more cool-down lap and then go again. Nick potentially will do the same. CJ just getting ready for his run in that Red Bull. He's got the Ferrari on his tail. And off they go. Mitch and CJ both on out laps. So what about Nick? He is slightly up on his lap time. As he comes around turn 7. Yellow flags waving, that'll be just drivers moving out of the way. So, trying to figure out who's on what here now. Be right in that McLaren. He is on a lap. So Be Right goes purple sector 2. He's nearly 4 tenths up on his lap time. And that McLaren looks very quick here. So Be Right to the line he goes, and it is a 1:16.6, 4.5 tenths up on his lap time. Hackmore will go for a final run. He has that Sauber right behind him. I think he's going to stay right with him. No, I think he's just finished his lap into P8. And then Nimblecat stays P16. But a really good lap though in that Racing Bull. He's not far off these really quick drivers. Fanfness is on an out lap. CJ is 4 tenths up in that Red Bull with the Aston Martin trailing him, and CJ goes up to P5. Casper will start his final run as they go in towards the Cenerettis. 20 seconds remaining. Mintoki goes up to P8 in that Red Bull. In that Williams, sorry. What a lap that is from Mintoki. 14 seconds remaining. Jeffy Boy, here he comes. F7 VRB to the line, stays P15. Jeffy Boy is just going to hit the line in time. He is, yes, with 1 second remaining. Jeffy hits the line. Super Turbo in the McLaren. That is Nick, that is round. And there's a few drivers coming through. Super Turbo goes P3. Super Turbo does go P3. We have a Ferrari that is next. The checkered flag has waved. Here comes Hackmore, he's half a second up. And Mirko goes P2 in that Mercedes. And Hackmore has gone provisional pole in the Ferrari here in Brazil. Hackmore goes P1. That's what we were waiting for. So the Mercedes of Fanfness, the championship leader, is slightly up on his lap time. It's not going to be enough to take pole though, and the championship leader will only go P6. The other Ferrari of Mitch will be next. One Ferrari is on pole, the other will go P4. The Aston Martin of Casper stays P8. The Haas of Maxi Block is 2 tenths up on his lap time, and Maxi will stay P13. F7 VRB is 7 tenths up. It will keep him P15 though, and F7 VRB does improve, and that is it. Jeffy Boy will be the final driver to the line, and he goes P5 and in front of a McLaren, but it is Hackmore in the Ferrari that delivers. What's going on, Reese? Vamos. So, Hackmore takes pole. Be Right in P2 and Mirko in P3. Mr. Reese has just gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, mate. You've gifted a total of 25 to the channel. Thank you so much, Reese. You know how much that means, and you know how far that goes as well, so I really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. So Hackmore takes pole position. Be Right in P2, Mirko in P3. It is Mitch in P4, Jeffy in P5, Super Turbo in P6, and Fanfness in P7. Casper takes P8 and CJ in P9. Mintoki in P10 and Jay in 11. It is Owen in P12 and Nick in P12 and Maxi in P13. The Racing Bull of Goldman's in P14, and then F7 VRB, Nimblecat and Deadly complete the 17 drivers on the grid. I'm really glad Shaganator 1987 got a sub. I don't even know who that is. Thank you, mate. So on to the race, and will the start deliver? So Dennis on pole, be right on the front row with him. Oh, I thought he meant because of the name. Right, let's get ready to race. Here we go with the formation lap. If it's anything like the sprint, we are in for an action. Oh, Alvaro. Thank you so much, mate. Honestly, thank you to you both. Both 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, guys. 10 subs. Just as we're coming to the end of the season as well. Massively helps. Everything helps. So thank you all so much. Yeah, it does. It only genuinely, guys, it means a lot, especially when we're going to the end of the season and we're sending all the trophies out and all that sort of stuff. So thank you all so much. Yeah, I wish, Deadly. So here we go. So we are all lining up. So it is Hackmore. But we'll line up first. Be right in P2, and then Mirko in P3, Mitch in P4, and Jeffy Super Turbo. But it is Fanfinus, the championship leader, in P7. This race in Brazil is not going the way he wants it to go at the moment, but there is a long race ahead of us. So here we go. It is for round 15 for the feature race here in Formula 7 Realistic, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. The Ferrari got an incredible start, cuts right across the McLaren, but the McLaren will come around the outside of the centre S's. And here comes the other Ferrari on the inside of Mirko, but Mirko coming out of the centre S's. They do touch, the Ferrari's off the track. He tries to come back on, they do touch. And Mitch is round, he just controls it to stay out of the wall. And that is some driving to save himself there. And Mitch is down to P15. Deadly is through after that engine penalty up to P14. It is carnage at the back as the Aston Martin comes up the inside of the Sauber, and the Ferrari at Mitch trying to make moves. He's trying to squeeze through, but he's not there. He can't get through at the moment. Maxi Block and Nick, the Sauber and the Haas, and that is the Haas that is off the track. The Aston Martin in the background as well of Deadly as he comes back on, just collides with Mitch, who does get through and up to P13, and now he's got the Haas just in front of him. but Hackmore does lead in front of B Right in the McLaren. J on Deadly, the Sauber driver, and then the Aston will try and come back at F7 VRB, but Hackmore leads by 4 tenths to B Right, to Mirko, to Jeffy, to Trubo, to Casper, Fanford, and CJ Mintoki and Nick are your top 10 at the end of lap 1. F7 VRB and Deadly are still going at it. He just slips and slides out of turn 12. Deadly gets his foot down earlier and he is up to P15, and this is epic here in the rain. Hackmore, B Right, Mirko are your top 3 at the start of lap 2. So 2 tenths Fanfinus behind Casper. He is still in P7. He'll be happy that B Right isn't leading, but as it stands, B Right will take the championship lead. Casper struggling in the rain. He's a second behind Super Turbo, but he was so good at defensive driving in the sprint race. What about Mitch on the back of Goldman's? He's looking for a way through. And that is Goldman's again losing the rears. And just doesn't look like that setup is right on that Racing Bull. And Mitch will be patient about this, but he'll take his opportunity when it comes. So Hackmore in the Ferrari is in P1. B Right in the McLaren P2, and Mirko in the Mercedes P3. The Red Bull of Jeffy in P4. As I said earlier, 4 different constructors in the top 4 as we head to the end of lap 2. You have earned a hype chest. Open to see your reward. Oh, that's class. Choo-choo. Deadly and Maxi. Here comes Mitch. Here comes Mitch on Nick, the Sauber driver, and Mitch is back up to P10. A move around the outside of turn 4. Han Solo, honestly, mate, you don't even need to think like that or even do anything like that. Honestly, anybody is free to race here and watch here without ever donating or ever subscribing. It's an absolute bonus and it's an honour for the league to have people supporting us, but it's not necessary at all, mate. So, but thank you. So Hackmore in the Ferrari, 4 tenths clear of B Right. Mirko is still there, and Jeffy and Trubo all within touching distance. Strategy is going to play a massive part. So in towards turn 1, and Mitch sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and that is a Red Bull of CJ that goes a little bit deep through the centre S's, and now he has Mintoki on the back of him using that Duracell battery, getting the power down Rector Aposta. And that is Deadly on J into the slipstream. He's going to move over to the left-hand side. He's going to go later on the brakes. And the Sauber leaves in the space. The Aston Martin didn't go for it, and they're both super respectful. And it actually slowed them down because they were being so respectful. But I like it. Here comes Mix now on Mintoki. The Williams driver up to P9. Very Alex Albon-esque driving here from Mintoki. B Right only 2 tenths now behind Hackmore, but we are on board with Mitch in the Scuderia on the back of the Williams for E9 as we go in towards Vico de Peto. At turn 10, down towards turn 11. Let's have a look at the leaders, and B Right gets a good exit out of turn 12 and into the slipstream of the Ferrari. Ah, that's amazing, Han Solo. Ah, did you go Vegas? I like it. Yeah, I appreciate the support, mate, honestly. Everybody that watches is just... It makes, as a commentator and as you know, somebody that spends a lot of time running the league and making it enjoyable for everybody, you know, anybody that watches it and gets enjoyment out of watching it is that's all I want for it as well. So yeah, that's great. Here comes B Right into the slipstream of Hackmore. He's going to look for a way through. Hackmore takes a chunk of the apex, and now here comes the McLaren. He's going to go around the outside of the Ferrari. They do go wheel to wheel. The Ferrari goes deep though. The McLaren tries to switch it back in towards turn 8, and it is Hackmore that is holding on as B Wright is all over him like a rash as we come through Vico de Peto at turn 10 down towards turn 11. The Ferrari still defending as the McLaren cannot get through, and he will not want to take any chances knowing that Fanfurness is down to P7 and Reese is not here this evening, so he will be very patient for that overtake. And Casper is caught up. Fanfurness 1.4 behind the front 6. He will not be happy with this Grand Prix, and Mintoki doing a great job. Here we go. Mitch on Mintoki down towards turn 1 at the centre S's, and the Ferrari goes through and into P9. The recovery drive from Mitch is on. What an overtake that was. So Mintoki will stay where he is. Here comes Maxi Block, here comes Deadly. So Nimble doing what he does best, Mr. Consistent. Hackmore in P1, B Wright in P2, Merkel P3, Jeffy P4. We are on lap 6 of 36. This is still anybody's race here. So 4 tenths is the gap. It's Mitchy time, I like it. Oh, he set the fastest lap again, a 1:19.7 from Mitch. He is on fire. Now he's catching up to CJ. B Wright only 2 tenths behind Hackmore. It's so important to get in front, isn't it? It is really important because it's so difficult to overtake in the rain. And here comes B Wright. 1 tenth is the gap as we go in towards turn 7. The Ferrari continues to hold on. What about Deadly on Maxi Block? He got a better exit out of turn 5 through turn 6 and 7. Well, Maxi Block is doing enough to stay in P13. Goldman seems to be struggling with that with the rear end of that Racing Bull pretty much all race. And now here comes Maxi. Is he going to find a way through? Is he going to go up the inside? He is. And Goldman's turns in. The Racing Bull and the Haas get acquainted with each other here in Sao Paulo, but it is Goldman's that just stays ahead in P12. And Maxi will have to find another way through as that Racing Bull is going defensive. So Deadly in the Aston Martin. Look at the straight line speed into the slipstream of Maxi Block. Maxi didn't take his chances, and now it might be Deadly's turn to do so. The Haas. Wow. Maxi Block to go that late on the brakes and pull it to a stop and make turn 1. That is really good from the Haas. Now here comes Deadly. His second chance at this. But no, Maxi is just able to go later on the brakes and still pull that car to a stop. Here comes B Wright again. All over that rear wing of Hackmore. I'm wondering if this is tactical from Hackmore, maybe trying to play defensive, maybe trying to push him in to make him battle the drivers behind and give him something else to think about. There will be some sort of Ferrari strategy in play here this evening, knowing that they're on in a constructors battle and knowing one of their drivers is still in a drivers championship. So be right into the slipstream of Hackmore. But yet again, it's not enough, and without that DRS, there's just nothing you can do. Realistically, you need to hope for a mistake. When you're racing this close in the rain, you need to hope for a mistake. But we've still seen some amazing battling, considering there's no DRS. So Jeffy Boy does have slight front wing damage, by the way, and so does Famfinus. According to my system, Famfinus and Jeffy Boy have slight front wing damage. It's very minor. It's not a missing end plate, but they do have damage. So I'm wondering if that's why Famfinus was losing a little bit of time, because even the slightest of damage will make a difference. So I'm looking at the tyres. At the moment, the tyres are roughly 28-29%. However, Mitch, 33%. But that's because of that push off onto the run-off area at the start of the race. And he did so well to control the car. So Mitch up to pit. Did he just make an overtake on CJ? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I missed that. Mitch is up to P8. He got thrown the Red Bull, but now here comes CJ. Mitch will cover off the inside line. He knows what he's doing here. The Ferrari driver into the centre S's. And once he gets this complete, he does. And that is it. Mitch has pulled away. And up to P8 in front of the Red Bull he goes. And now Famfinus is next on the Ferrari's hit list. The front three, all 30%. So out of turn at 5 and 6. Mitch is absolutely cooking. I think an undercut might be strong here. It'll be interesting to see what the drivers do. I think strategy is going to be the difference potentially between winning and losing a race. It is that critical because you can really defend around here. So I think the Ferrari team will be eyeing up the possibility of pitting first, and they'll be waiting to see what happens behind them. Oh, Casper's gone for it. Oh, how did he get that to a stop? Wow. Casper has gone for an early stop here. So, is the undercut going to work? So, out of the pit lane for the Aston Martin of Casper. I think Casper is thinking about a huge undercut and then defending. Here he comes. He's going to come out in front of F7 VRB and in 10 seconds of clean air. That is exactly where they would have planned it. Aston Martin have timed this beautifully. I know, wow. So this will be interesting to see what the drivers in front do. Are they going to respond to the Aston Martin, or are they just going to let him play his own game? Potentially he is, yeah, Mr. Reese. Or he's going for a huge undercut and then he's just going to defend right at the end. But I will keep an eye on his lap times and we'll see what the situation is. The front three are all on 35% tyre wear at the moment, but Jeffy is on 31. Or even if Casper's going for a two-stopper, but he ends up in the lead and then potentially you get a safety car, you know, you've got to think about that as well. So, yeah. So Hackmore still in the lead after 12 laps. I'm sure somewhere Reese will be watching. Oh, that is Mintoki. CJ in the Red Bull is off the track. So CJ makes a mistake. Nick in the Sauber is through. Not a single penalty for any driver yet, though, which is good. Not a single collision or safety car or VSC. This is in the rain as well. That's really good. That's what we want to see. But that is B Wright, 2 tenths behind Hackmore into the slipstream. And it looks like Hackmore has got the perfect race setup here. Mitch is now only 7 tenths behind Fanfurness. Owen Salmon Metnick. Is that what it is? Is it Owen Salmon Metnick? Oh, Goldman's on Maxi Block, the Racing Bull, and the Haas, wheel to wheel. That is Deadly in the pit lane as well. So both Aston Martins are going for a similar strategy. CJ picks up the thought. CJ's out. CJ in the Red Bull is out. That is a safety car. CJ bins it down Retroposter, and the Red Bull on lap 13 is out of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. That has just ruined the Aston Martin strategies. And that is why I tried to get Goldman's. Oh, God. You know what as well? I was this close when Goldman said I want to stay in Racing Bull to put. I was this close to putting Nimble in Red Bull. But when you know you're managing Racing Bull and Red Bull, you're sort of obliged, aren't you, to put Racing Bull in first. CJ's a very, very, very good driver, by the way. He's going to be Tier 2 World Champion, but he just makes so many mistakes. So many. And he picks up a lot of time penalties as well. So, Mirko. Has Mirko come out in front of B Wright? Mirko's come out in front of B Wright. Oh my God. Mirko has come out in front of B Wright. Is that Jeffy Boy with a missing end plate? Jeffy Boy's got a missing end plate. It's not changed his wing. It has all been thrown up in the air, and Fanfurness is going to come out in P5. How has he managed that? Mitch is now in P7. Casper is in P6, but he already pitted. So really unfortunate for Casper, because any more laps and I think Casper would have ended in the lead. So B Wright is now down to P3 and behind a Ferrari and a Mercedes. Wow. Jeffy is only in P5, so the gap 15, 12, 10, they would come out of this race on the exact same points. No, Fanfurness will be 2 points ahead. Oh. So, the Red Bull is out. So, all the drivers with the pit stop. Casper on 9% intermediates compared to all the other drivers fresh. But does this push all the drivers into a two-stopper? And then Casper is going to probably pit earlier anyway, so does it make that much of a difference being a little bit less fresh tyres at this stage? I don't think so. So they say McLarens will go for one. So I know Deadly literally as you went into the pits as well. But the big talking point is that B. Wright came out behind Mirko. That would have been in the pit stop. He would have been held up, B. Wright. Because it is realistic, we do have unsafe pit release off, sorry. So if there is a bit of traffic, you can lose a place or two. The game settings are as close to realistic as we can get them. The red flags, safety cars, everything's on standard. Yeah, that's the question, Alvaro. That is the question. I think the safety car might be in this lap. We are all grouped back up. I need to change the tags. Tag for F123. I don't know why that is. Let me change. So the safety car is in this lap. This is going to be a really important safety car restart. So Hackmore getting some heat into them tyres. Mirko just waiting to go. And he'll do one more weave and then he'll go. But Mirko got a really good start. But then Dennis decides to weave again and get them heat into the tyres. He's leaving this really late. This is tactical gameplay from the Ferrari as he nearly go into the Mercedes. And he is going to go pretty soon. He does go. Finally, good restart. And that is Fanfness that is through on Casper. And a little bit of pile up at the back, and that is Deadly, who has to let a couple of the drivers through. And up the inside of the Haas driver goes Deadly, and in front of F7 VRB. And that is Mitch in the Ferrari that's off the track again, and that is B. Wright that is through on Mirko. The Mercedes has Jeffy Boy up the inside. The Red Bull goes through on Mirko. Mirko is off the track. Jeffy Boy with that missing end plate is through, and so is Fanfness. Fanfness is up to P4, B. Wright's up to P2, Maxi is through on Mintoki, and the Williams driver is now back down to P9. Mitch is going to have to do it all over again as he goes past F7 VRB and up to P14. It is deja vu from the start of this race. Jay in the Sauber goes to the left. Mitch will go around the outside and move up to P13. Goldman's is through, and that is Deadly, and that is Casper that is losing places as he just collides with Mitch, who just squeezes through, and now back up to P12. And B. Wright will chase down the race leader after this safety car restart. Wow, so here we go. This is the action. Here comes Deadly. Banana left the session. Does Mirko have damage? I will check in a minute. Oh, the Aston Martin nearly takes out that Racing Bull, who goes deep, and Deadly goes through, and so does Mitch in that Ferrari, and now he's back up to P11. If Mitch gets anything out of this race, it will be incredible. So Casper into the slipstream of Goldman's as they go down towards turn 4 at the end of Retta Aposta. The Aston Martin moves through, and that's a fantastic overtake. What about B. Wright? He went a little bit deep there on the Ferrari. So all the drivers are still in with a shot here. Jeffy into P3, so let me check for damage. So Jeffy Boy, Fanfness, Mirko and Super Turbo all have some sort of front wing damage. So this is great for Nick, Maxim, Intoki, Deadly and Mitch all behind. So Super Turbo chasing down Mirko. Let's see what, yeah, Mirko has a missing end plate. Fanfness doesn't have a missing end plate, just minor wing damage. Jeffy Boy has a missing end plate. That is a yellow flag. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Goldman's. And here comes B. Right, again, he got a good exit out of turn 4. This could be his opportunity. And the Ferrari driver will stay ahead once more. B. Right trying to go for a different line through there. Goldman's is into the pit lane. Oh, and B. Right to snap it back there. And that is a DNF in the feature and the sprint for Goldman's. It's been an awful night of racing for him. Oh, B. Right is all over this Ferrari. He's waiting for the opportunity. Will it come? We'll see. Out of turn 12 we go. He got his foot down a lot earlier. Will he try and burn that battery to get in front of the Ferrari? Hackmore is also emptying the tank to stay ahead. He's got more downforce, that Ferrari driver. And look at that, he's able to fend him off, and the strategy is working out here for Hackmore. Through the Cenerettis we go. So remember, Jeffy, Fanfness, Mirko and Super Turbo all have wing damage. I need to look at Super Turbo. His is a missing end plate as well. So you can see B. Wright is so much faster through the corners, but then when we get onto the straights, Hackmore is able to stay ahead. And that is what a good strategy will do for you. And here comes B. Wright again. And they do touch slightly. You can see that B. Wright is so much quicker through the corners, but when we get onto the straight, Hackmore just takes off. And Hackmore and B. Wright, I'm surprised they're not taken away from Jeffy with a missing end plate here. So you can see how much slower the front two are, because they're not even able to pull away from a driver with a missing end plate. But then we go back onto the straight, and then Hackmore just pulls away. It's incredible to watch. yeah, he has leaps. So look at that, the straight line speed, F7 VRB with that time penalty. Here comes Mitch on Deadly. Is he going to find a way past? Not just yet, he's not. And B. Wright coming around, down Retro-Aposta. And Jeffy Boy, even with that missing end plate, is able to stay with the front two, which is surprising here. Fanfness with that slight front wing damage has managed to find himself in P4, which I don't even think he expected. Super Turbo on Mirko. Remember Mirko with that missing end plate. And Casper on Mitch. And here comes B. Wright again. And the Ferrari driver, and the McLaren is off the track, and Jeffy is through. Jeffy with that missing end plate is going for the move on the McLaren. He's onto the grass and he's slipping and sliding. And down the inside of the Papaya, the McLaren tries to keep it. He does lose the back end, and down to P3 goes the McLaren. And the strategy from the Ferrari is playing out to a T here. The Ferrari driver with a great setup, and the strategy of just backing him into the pack has worked out, and the Red Bull driver is through. The McLaren will try and come back, but Jeffy Boy with a missing end plate is up to P2. Will Hackmore now start to take off? Fanfness, the championship leader, is on the back of his championship contender. 7 points separate them. They are in P3 and P4. Remember, Fanfness does have slight front wing damage. 14 laps to go. This is incredible. I do not know what's going to happen next. You're not online for me, Banana, mate. So, Hackmore, Jeffy, be right. Alvaro beat Banana, Banana and Salute are in tonight. So you and Mr. Reese should join next week. So into the Cenerettes. I see what you mean. Okay, well, let's discuss it after this because, yeah, maybe you're right actually. Here comes B right. Is he going to go for it? Oh right, if everybody doesn't agree with it, then let's scrap it. I just want it to be as fair as possible, so if everybody thinks that it's not fair, then we'll scrap it, yeah? So, here we go. Hackmore leads to Jeffy Boy to be right. Yeah, I agree, Mr. East. I agree. Okay, we'll discuss it after the race, guys. We'll come up with something else. Right, here comes a B right on Jeffy Boy. Is he going to find a way through? You are actually very active on the chat, Alvaro. You're right. Every Wednesday you're here, actually. In fact, you're here most races, which I like. Always giving me someone to talk to. So, 24 laps out of 36. Hackmore leads. The tyres on around 26%. Jeffy doing a great job with that missing end plate. Does Fanfulness go for a move on B right at any point? $11 laps remaining. Casper in the Aston Martin. Now back on board with the leaders. It is Dennis in front. You know what, Alvaro? I really hope the next game gives you more than just 2 spectator spots. And yeah, I agree, it is unfair. When you do have a drive, when you do have a team principal in and stuff like that. But when I made the rule, I was hoping we would get every team principal in at least 1 week. That was my hope, but then it's not turned out like that, so then it did become unfair. So, the Red Bull, is he going to be able to fend off the attack from the McLaren once again, down towards turn 1? The McLaren will go around the outside. He's going to hang it there. He's looking for a way through. But Jeffy Boy still holding on to that P2. Hackmore doing a great job in the lead. I feel like this is a very Carlos Sainz-esque drive from Hackmore. Really clever racing. Yeah, I agree. Engine wear and weather. Wow, what's wrong with engine wear? Weather's just accurate. Weather's just whatever the weather is. So, Pamphilus, Mirko now with that missing end plate. 5-6 seconds behind his teammate. And he has them all queuing up all the way down to P12, queuing up behind. No salute. We've always done it the same way. It doesn't matter. We don't look at percentages. If it has the icon that says raining, it's raining. We're not going to start looking at percentages. Then what happens if it's 50% or 60%? Then what do you put then? No, I know what you're saying. We'll look at something, yeah. We're going to look at some changes anyway. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Salute and Amara have been in engineering for the same amount of times. They've both been in 3 times. Hackmore in the Ferrari. Jeffy, be right. Pamphilus, your top 4 drivers. We'll sort some out anyway, guys. We'll sort some out. It's a bit fairer. Oh, and there is Mitch in the Ferrari on the Aston Martin of Deadly, and he does get through and up to P10 for the Scuderia. So he is back to P10. So 8 laps remaining. It is the Ferrari of Hackmore that is in the lead. Is now starting to drop off with that slight front wing damage. The Mercedes are in good positions, P4 and at P5. And that is a yellow flag. That is a Haas driver of F7 VRB that's off the track at the Senna S's. And that is Jay on Casper. So it looked like Casper made a slight mistake. Oh, and he's off the track. Casper in the Aston Martin is off onto the runoff area. And picks up a time penalty for his struggles. Right, let's all chill. Jesus. So it's not that deep. We're always improving. That's the whole point of it. We'll make changes and we'll change stuff and we'll improve stuff. Here comes the McLaren on the inside of the Red Bull. They get very close to each other. And the Red Bull is able to hold on again. Sorry. Yellow flag again. Oh, it's like an Aston Martin just going slowly. Yellow flag. That is an Aston Martin of Casper. He is really struggling now. This is where it starts to get a bit sketchy. The drivers with their tyres, they start to feel the wear. Fanfness is in a great position though, knowing that McLaren is only a step ahead of him. So he is now 1.4 clear, and that is Nimbo that is through up to P14. And you're absolutely right, Nick and Max here doing a phenomenal job. P7 and P8. They're on the back of Super Turbo as well, who's also got a missing end plate. Hackmore is now starting to pull away. He's put it into second gear, and the strategy that he was going for is now starting to pay off. And he is now thinking about the race victory. Around turn 12 goes the Scuderia. Jeffy Boy with that missing end plate is holding on for dear life in that Red Bull. Oh, look at that. Hackmore now starts setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on 50% worn intermediates. He is now picking up the pace. And the strategy from Hackmore, that's what he was playing. He was playing the Carlos Sainz-esque strategy. And he's now starting to turn it up a notch. Brilliantly done. That does leave B Wright fighting with an injured Red Bull. Mintoki and Mitch, P9 and P10. Mintoki in that Williams, by the way. What a drive. And then obviously Maxi and Nick. Nick has had, I'm pretty sure, 2 driver of the days in that Sauber. But he could be going for a third here. Yellow flag again. So Fanfness just watching on ahead. That 1 extra point for B Wright will be the difference between 4 points and 1 point difference in the Drivers' Championship. Hackmore now 2.5 seconds clear. Mintoki on the back of Maxi Block. B Wright 2 tenths behind Jeffy Boy. Yellow flag again, and that is an Aston Martin of Casper just pulling to the side. And nicely done by Casper to get out of the way. He's got no front wing. He's got a completely missing front wing. So Mintoki on the back of Maxi. Fanfness picks up a 3-second time penalty. It will not matter though. His teammate is 8 seconds behind, so that is a free penalty. It just means he won't be able to make up any positions on the drivers in front. But it does mean that he will stay in P4 with the gap. Mintoki on Maxi, and that is the Aston Martin just moving out of the way with that missing front wing. But he does collide with the Ferrari driver. And the Ferrari and the other Aston Martin trying to get through. And that is, yeah. And we are on lap 33 of 36. What a race it's been. A yellow flag. That is deadly, I think. It is deadly this round. A touch with Mitch. Mitch is back up to P10. Deadly is round. Casper is into the pit lane. Mintoki is chasing down Maxi Block. B Wright still not able to get through on that Red Bull of Jeffy Boy. And Jeffy Boy has drove this whole second half of this Grand Prix with no end plate on the left hand side. And it's such a struggle in the rain, but they have made it work. Yeah, really good strategy. Make realistic great again. That is a yellow flag. That is an Aston Martin of Casper that is onto the grass. Coming out of Vico de Beto at turn 10, and he's got the leaders catching him up. We are about to go on to lap 35. Oh, he's on softs. That's why he's struggling. He's on softs. He's got his wing changed, and he's now on soft compounds. I'm not sure that's going to work, so we head on to lap 35. Jeffy can see the Ferrari in the distance. He can see the McLaren in his wing mirrors. And Mintoki, 2 tenths behind Maxi Block. He's chasing him down. We're on the penultimate lap. And the Aston Martin just moving out of the way again. And the leaders are now through. Remember, Fanfness is going to stay in P4 because he does have that time penalty. But it does mean the gap is now down to 4 points between the leaders. Oh, and he's lost it again on the softs. Mirko in the Mercedes is through. He does move out the way. Super Jumbo is through, and then Nick in the Sauber cleanly through. And the drivers are going on to the final lap. Jay is through on Mitch. Mitch has made a mistake, and Jay is through. He's all over the place there now. And Mitch is into the pit lane on the last lap. So we are on. You missed Mitch, that's what. Oh, right, okay, I didn't see that, Alvaro. Okay, I'll take a good look at that, mate. So, Hackmore coming around at turn 9. That's why I was on board, mate. I was trying to see what was going on. So, Hackmore coming through turn 11, down towards turn 12. And be right, can he get the Red Bull on the way to the line? Hackmore comes through. And the Belgium driver on his way down to the line. But it will be the Ferrari of Hackmore that wins here in Brazil. It will be Jeffy Boy, a damaged Red Bull that comes through to take P2. Be Right takes P3, Fanfness in P4. And the championship lead is down to 4 points after Brazil. Mirko takes P5, Super Trooper in P6, Nick takes P7, Maxi in P8, Mintoki in P9. What a drive by that Williams. Deadly in P, and Jay in P10, Deadly in 11, Mitch will take P12, F7 VRB, Nimble, as always, will finish the race. That is what it's about. So, there we have it. Yeah, great race, Jeffy. And just a big shout out to Nimble to finish the whole race. in the sprint and the race in the Racing Bull. That is why I was debating putting him in that Red Bull, because he is just super consistent. To the line we go, and there we have it. So on the top step, it is the Ferrari driver of Hackmore. The strategy played out well in the feature race, and he takes the race victory. The Red Bull with the damage takes P2, and the championship contender in P3. The gap is now down to 4 points. Let's go through the final standings. So it is, 1 minute, let me get them up. Hackmore that takes the race victory and the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. You have Jeffy Boy in at P2, and then B Right in P3. Fanfinis in P4 and Mirko in P5. Super Turbo in P6, and then Nick in the Sauber in at P7. Maxiblock in P8. Mintoki in P9. Jay in P10. Deadly in 11. Mitch in P12. F7VRB in P13. Nimble in P14. Casper in P15, and then Goldmans and CJ both failed to finish the race in P16 and P17. My driver of the day, I mean, I can't really, I mean, I was going to go with Nick again, but I mean, Jeffy Boy from, 5th on the grid to 2nd with front wing damage all the second half of the race. I think it's the first time I've given it to a Red Bull driver, but I genuinely believe that he deserves it tonight. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jeffy. But it could have gone to Maxi, it could have gone to Nick, but it's the first time I've given it to a Red Bull driver, and from 5th on the grid to 2nd with front wing damage as well. So, right, let's do interviews. Oh, Jeffy's on PC in it, so it will only be Right and Hackmore. So we will start off with your P3 driver, the championship contender, B Right. How was that one, mate? Yeah, P3, you narrowed the points down now to just 4 points to the championship leader, so you must come out of that pretty happy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had a few good battles. You had the sprint race, you just took off. It was incredible. The feature race, it was, from the start, and then obviously you had that battle with Dennis pretty much throughout the whole Grand Prix, and then the Red Bull got involved, and then, were you trying did that cautious bit of your brain have to come into play at certain points? Yeah. Were you surprised at the pace of the Mercedes? Obviously, with their qualifying, they qualified a bit further down. They did well in the race to come back to where they were, but obviously in the qualifying, they didn't seem to have it there. Ah. Just so you know, Ben, nobody can hear you. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm not sure why. 1 minute, let me just test that. Yeah, I've got everything on share. Is yours on share? Yeah, no worries. Right, yeah. Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, it was a great race. You did what you needed to do. It was a great P3. You finished in front of Anthony, so well done on a great race, mate. Cheers, Ben. So we'll move on to your race winner, Dennis. Talk us through that one, mate. Yeah, this just it was a tough race, obviously with the rain, and then you had two drivers behind you who were battling for the championship. You were wheel to wheel. You just talk us through the strategy in the sprint, and then the difference that the feature race made as well. Yeah. Sorry, Dennis. 1 second. They're still saying there's no audio, and I'm not sure why. Just bear with me, mate. Yeah. 1 second. Party settings. Yeah, that's really strange. 1 second. I'm just. Yeah, all mine's on share. I don't. 1 minute. Sorry. Um, I don't have a clue what's going on here. Right. 1 second. It should. When I upload it to YouTube, it should have all the audio, but just bear with me. Audio output. Yeah, include mic audio, include party audio. Yeah, everything's on share. It should. We'll go through it, Dennis. But when I upload it to YouTube, it should have the audio there. Yeah. So just talk us through the feature race, mate. Yeah, and it was you had some amazing battles as well. Was obviously we've seen the strategy and everything. Was the strategy always to, because it looked like it was sort of like Carlos Sainz S pushing B right into the drivers behind and then just taking off when you had the opportunity to move away? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the hot lap in qualifying, where did that come from? Yeah. Well, it was an incredible strategy, Dennis. I won't keep you too long. I will upload the clip to YouTube and the audio should be there, but it was an incredible race, mate, an incredible pole position, and a fantastic race victory. So well done. Cheers, mate. Sorry to everybody who was waiting for the interviews there. I do apologise. I have no idea why that wasn't working. When I upload it to YouTube, it does upload party audio, so it should be there when I upload it to YouTube. I'll do that straight away. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. We have got a break this weekend, so we're not racing on Sunday. So we will see you all again in a week and a half for the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting as you always do. Well done to all the drivers, and thank you all so much. I will see you all again for the next one.